नेहा जी थोड़ा और आगे।
किधर तक आना है वो बता दो ना।
मैम आगे हम यहाँ तक आइए।
यहाँ तक आइए।
इधर तक ना।
हाँ हाँ
और वहाँ यहाँ से ना।
हाँ चलेगा।
साइड आ रहा है इसको।
यस यस मैम रेडी
Ready.
या रेडी।
Nice shoe, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I just wore it.
One more.
I've been training
One more time.
और ये कौन से है?
Yes, yes.
Pegasus and करो और है? Ashwin, one more. Ready?
रेडी
Ready.
No chance, boss. No chance. I gotta look good. और है? You want me to spray?
और one more.
You know what I look like now when I spray?
सुनील को नहीं हुआ अभी तक। सुनील हटना।
Ready?
रेडी।
More?
मैडम
I can keep doing
यहाँ पे
it.
Last shot, last shot.
ये
हाँ,
लास्ट
last
है, कौन सा?
लगेगा. मैं धीरे भागती हूँ.
हाँ ठीक है
ओके
चलेगा.
ओके मैम।
Ready?
रेडी।
Okay? Thank you. वहाँ पर आ जाएगा.
सब आगे रहेंगे।
I just want exaggerated movement. Okay, where is he? Okay.
यस यस।
Yes, go with the leg. 1, 2, start. Yeah. Ready? Yes. Go. Rohan, light. Done? Okay. We're done. Thank you. I'm a little concerned about the expression. Huh? So,
सेट आएगा उधर।
what we determine here, actually tendon is straight
That's it. The abs showing now? Oh, you're not getting. Alright, so.
Our next Miss India, fantastic model. She's doing a lot of shows right now. She's got a couple of really good movies coming out this year. But most importantly, she ran the Bombay Half Marathon last year. She ran the Bangalore 10K this year. And she's pushing me to run a few more races. I don't know why, but yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Neha, yeah. Alright, over to you.
Good to have you, Neha. This is the part that I have to tell you. I live in Bandra. I live very close to Leelavati Hospital. Whenever I get to Carter Road, Turner Road and Pericross Road, I can actually count. I must have seen you run just 20-25 times, just running. So how do you manage to make so much time for yourself, knowing that you act, knowing that you model?
Well, I want to start by saying a very warm good evening to everybody. You know, I don't know if this is the right place to be standing on stage and talking to everyone in the audience. I have to start by saying that everyone there in the audience is definitely a better runner than I am. So I thank all of you for doing all these activities that Nike's put up today, and for showing this much zest and encouragement to all the other runners who are actually not here. I'm sure you're going to go back and put this message up on Facebook and tell everybody how cool this activity is. You know, a huge round of applause to all of you to come here, because nobody actually has put a gun on anyone's head. This is not anyone's job. This is not, no one's getting paid for this. This is just a hobby, and people just run because they want to run. There is no explanation to it. And most runners out there would know that there's absolutely no explanation to this. Well, before I come to answering your question as to how do I make time, I want to start by telling everybody that my journey as a runner has been one that's not been very easy. The reason I started running was because I thought I could never run. I don't know how many of you actually did that. A lot of people run because they know they can run. I started running because I thought I'd never be able to do it. Well, I almost thought for like every time I would see people running and doing marathons, and I was just like, why can't I be one of these people? Why can't I make the time, the effort? What's different? If one person can, why can't the other one do it? So I never thought of myself as, I'm coming to answering your questions to how do I make time. I never thought of myself as this actor, as this person who's busier than everybody else. I run with a running group, and I have to say that everyone out there is far busier than I am. I only make time because I love running. I love what it does to me. I love the fact that it clears my head out on days that I've got too much going on in my head, and it takes me to a level it takes me to a level of spirituality when I have absolutely nothing going on in my head. So it just takes me to a higher level of consciousness. And I know that a lot of people out there who are runners. How many of you are actually runners here? Excellent. I only see my coach not raising his hand because he's just like that.
Where is he?
He's right here. Everybody give it up for Princeton Miranda. He's my coach. Yeah, that's probably the loudest expression he's had. Otherwise, he's always like 1, 2. Come on, give me 20 more. Come on. And these are sprints. So he's a tough taskmaster. But I have to say that there's so much I want to share because I feel I'm just somebody who knows so little about running. The only thing that I know about running is that I really wanted to run. And that's the most important thing. The minute you guys make up your mind that you want to do it, you should just go ahead and do it. I was at this crossroad in my life. The reason I started running was because I needed something that could be mine. I needed some place where I didn't need timings, and I didn't need membership, and I didn't need, a partner, like, you have to go play tennis and then you have to wait for somebody else. I wanted something that was entirely mine, that I could call my own, that I just put on my sneakers and just go. There are roads everywhere. You can carry your sneakers anywhere in the world. You can put on your music and make that time yours. So when I run, I feel like I own my time, I own my space. I'm not obligated to anyone, and it's just the most free-spirited thing that I do 5 times a week, which is just something that inspires me, because I have targets, I have goals, I have timings that I want to achieve, and then more often than not I let myself down, and then I go back the next day and then I try and do better than my time, better than anything else, and then sometimes I don't, but there's nothing wrong with that. A marathon, most marathon runners would know, none of us are running a race. It's called a race, but we're not racing against anyone, not even ourselves. We're just giving it our 200% best on that very day, and that's what it's about. But I try and take our time only because I love it. I'm ever since I started running, I don't have a social life. I lie to my friends saying that, oh no, I've got something to do, but I'm actually in bed at 10 o'clock because I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to run. I know most runners out there would do that too, because there's no way that you can go to bed at like 2 a.m. after a hard party night and then go back and run at 5 in the morning. So, performing at 5 a.m. with all the other runners is way more important to me than going to any party. So it gives me a level or a sense of security. It's made me far more mature as a person, even personally, and I just feel amazing about what running has done to me.
So my next question, because I want to keep you on stage, is do you need a chair to sit?
Do I need a chair? I was almost hoping that I'm allowed to sit here. Like
you could.
Everybody
I
else
could probably ask you a question from here itself.
Yeah,
Okay, so Neha, how long have you been running?
Well, I've been running for almost, off and on, not properly, not professionally and everything. I've been trying to run for many years now, but I have to say that with my marathons and stuff, yeah, this is I've been 2.5 years.
2.5 years. We have a couple of 2-year-old marathon runners also here. Where are
I
they?
like being called 2-year-old,
All right.
especially at this stage in my life.
All right. So my question is, since you just said that the reason you started running was because you thought that you could never run. Okay, so there's one thing called wanting to run, where you start running, you put on your shoes, and then you say, okay, I don't want to be, tied down because of a gym membership or anything. And then you decide to run 21 kilometers on a Sunday morning. Where does that switch happen?
I'll tell you where that switch happens. It's a very interesting question, and it's just something that's so. It's just. I remember the first time. I mean, I cannot lie to all of you because unfortunately, Brinston's sitting right here, and anything I say, he's just going to be like, "Oh, she's a liar." But I'm going to be completely honest. The first time I thought I'm going to run the marathon, and I thought, if I've got to do it, I've got to do it the right way. There are 3 things that you need to run the marathon. You've got to be prepared, you've got to be prepared, and you've got to be prepared. There is no other way. There is no way you'll finish that marathon if you're not 100% prepared, because you hear really scary stories about people not making it, and it's a marathon. It's always a good idea to run, because if you're walking, it doesn't make sense. As much as you tell everybody else, no, I walked halfway and then I ran, that kind of stuff doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I wanted to be able to see if I'm physically ready to run 21.097, to be extremely precise, on that Sunday morning. So I did the right thing. I called, a professional who's sitting right here. I told him I want to run. So he was like, okay. I still remember the first day we were here at Joggers Park. Everybody is familiar with Joggers Park, because I see a lot of you at Joggers Park who are running. Like, I just see your backs more than your fronts, because I'm just like, I see this one also cross and another one cross and another one cross me, so everybody's time is better than mine. So yeah, the first time I ran, it was, I ran about 600 meters, and I was out of breath. My feet couldn't move, I was trembling, and that was my 100% best that I could give. And I still remember I did 1.5 rounds of Joggers Park, and I looked at Brinston, and he was just like, I was like, will I ever be able to run this marathon? And he just looked at me, he's like, of course you will. So I think it was his faith over mine, and then he just
I like the fact that he's still smiling while you say that.
He's still smiling, and he still has this face. I could be telling him that, I'm going to die, and then he'll be like, no, you won't. I mean, his expression doesn't change, so that's funny. But yeah, I did it, and then after those 600 meters, the first time I actually felt like I achieved something. Now, I'm coming from a place where I'm a complete non-runner. I have no running background whatsoever, except that, it was one of those things that I just had to do it. And because it just makes me feel great. It just takes me to this level that it's just hard to, explain.
Even with your father being from the armed forces, you were not made to run?
I know. I used to swim a lot, and I've been a swimmer and stuff, but I've had no running background, so I'm not familiar with the technique. So after the 600 meters, the first big run that I did with a lot of prep and everything was my first 8 kilometers. And that's when I felt like, wow, I've actually been, terrible time, but I've actually been on my feet for 50 minutes. And from somebody who ran 600 meters to then run 8 kilometers was a great achievement, after which I went on to doing my first double-digit run, which was 10 kilometers. And then I went on to preparing further and further and further with a great group of people around me. And then, of course, you never actually run the 21 kilometers before you run it in the marathon. So I think the longest run, excuse me, that I did was about 18 kilometers. And yeah, I mean, and then it was race week, and then I lost my sleep. How many of you actually lose your sleep one night before the marathon?
So see, that's the next question, because most of them, I mean, I'm sure, I just spoke to a gentleman here who's been running the marathon for the last couple of years. He's 42, he's got abs, like he mentioned.
All of us have abs,
Yeah,
some show, some don't show,
Right.
but all of us have abs.
There's this lady who's sitting here who's been running the marathon, no, for 8 years now. She's been running the marathon.
She looks like a runner.
So, what about the first time runners, right? What advice would you give them? Because you've gone through the whole gamut of, running the first race.
A lot. There's a lot for first-time runners. There's a lot you need to do. Like I said, you've just got to be prepared. You've got to join a running group. I mean, you can read as many number of manuals and all of that, and nothing can prepare you for race day except just great preparation. So you've got to average by 3 weeks before the marathon, you should be averaging about 35 kilometers a week. minimum. I'm no one to talk because I don't have great speed. That's another thing. That's my biggest drawback. And I know that this stage isn't a place where you talk about the things that you're not good at. But I know that my fantastic new shoes, the Zoom Elite, are going to give me great speed. No endorsements here, but just experience. But you know, like for the first time runners, there's so much you need to be careful about. Starting from your kit, like, you know, do not try out new clothes and new gear one night before saying, oh, मेरे दोस्त खड़े होंगे वहाँ पे तो मेरे को अच्छा लगना है, मेरी photo खींचेगी तो I have to wear new clothes. No, because those new clothes could be the worst thing. I mean, your speed could go down. To give you another, just to pre-warn you, you just need to like really rest it out in that week. Try and get as much sleep as you can. I didn't sleep for the last 4 days before the marathon. I don't know what it is. You just start losing sleep and you're like, what's going on? Why can't I sleep? And nothing is more important. And then you shut your eyes and you see the finish line and you don't see yourself at the finish line and you're like, oh, will I ever make it?
That was the first marathon experience.
It was my first marathon experience. You have, it's you know, I'm sure a lot of you have heard it. It's between the bliss and the blisters of running. So it's just a lot that one has to go through. You have to be mentally and physically prepared. You've got to be very careful with your diet. You know, you've got to have food that actually gives you strength and not, you know, your diet just has to be one of a runner, which means you've got to eat enough food that will last you those 21 kilometers, just carbohydrate overloading in the last 1 week. Try not to be too social because that kind of weighs you down. So things like that. But more importantly, I experienced stuff like, you know, breaking my toenails 1 week before the marathon. And then you're like, oh my God, but you've been preparing for 8 months. And then how do you run without toenails? And then that's when you just tape your toes and you just keep going. You have everything from shin splints to you know, random kind of pains that I don't know, like a lot of you must have gone through injuries. Anyone here who's been through many injuries right before the marathon and still run it? Somebody said, yeah. Who is it?
Anybody? Just immediately prior to running the race.
Well, to give you my experience, my calves kind of start getting really sore, but then you hydrate and you go to the right people and make sure it's done. But you know what? Just run the race. There's nothing more magical than actually crossing the finish line and then just feeling like you're the one who's done it, because it's your own race and it's nobody else's time. It's not a competition. Something I want to tell you all, I'm sure a lot of you people have already run this. For me, the most magical thing about running the marathon was running on the ceiling. It's just absolutely stunning. The sun doesn't come up, you know, it's you know, you have moonshine, which is like, you know, and the water is glistening, and then you have your music, and then even when you don't have music on, you still can hear everyone's breath and those footsteps, and it's just the adrenaline of 12,000 people that actually just keeps taking you forward. And that's something that you know, no amount of dialogue or me sitting here can describe. And for a first-time runner, for me, it was better than being in Disneyland. Being over there, it was just amazing.
You were just talking about the ceiling, so that's my next question, because you have participated in 2 of the top 3 races in the country. Of course, the Mumbai half marathon and the Bangalore 10,000. So how was the experience of both the cities? Because weathers are different, and obviously you decided to go run in another city as well.
I don't know how people in Bangalore got really fit. I didn't expect them to be so good. They kind of let me down, because there was a point where I was like, you know, Bangalore's like, you know, you need to come back to the start. The start and finish is the same, you know, it's pretty much a circular race. So by the time I was like on my 4th kilometer, I saw people, they were running backwards. Like, I was like, did they jump the line? What did they actually do? But yeah, Bangalore suddenly got really fit on us. But no, the experience is just, it's not that different. It's like once you're in the race, you're in the zone, you're running your own time in your own method, with your own sense of commitment. For me, nothing was different. Just being focused and making sure that I get to the finish line was something that would always worry me. And as usual, even before the Bangalore race, I didn't sleep all night. And Princeton was there with me, and I just called him at about 4:30 in the morning, and I was like, so should we run? And he's like, you know, you've come all the way. just run this one. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have a choice now. There comes a point where there's no turning back. So you've prepared to come all this way to run that one race. And then it makes you so nervous that you don't want to run it. But then when you actually run it and when you cross that finish line, how do I even explain to you? All of you run races here. All of you know what it means to run the finish. What's the first thing you all do? Look at your watches for time? What do all of you do? Stop the time, yeah. Like, and then all of us are just like, and then even when you know that you're, okay, over here, of course, Nike kind of put us to shame by getting one more mile and then, you know, Mo Farah's time and how he does it in 5 point some seconds. But we all have our Mo Farah moments because we all give it our 100% in that last 1 kilometer, in that last 500 meters. And it's just like, even if you're going to die, you just want to make sure that you die running, which is the best part about running a marathon or running any race out there.
You know, along with you, there are so many other celebrities from your world who have actually taken up to running. We can see a Gul's picture somewhere here. Now, obviously, with the fact that you're a celebrity, it comes with certain things like, you know, you have to be there at social events and you have to obviously be there. So obviously you said that you cut out on your friends and you tell them that you are busy with some other commitment. So time becomes a major pressure thing, right? Because like you said, you've been training for 8 months to run the marathon then. So it's great to see all celebrities doing it.
Well, I don't know, you know, when you're running, honestly, no one's really a celebrity. For me, the celebrity is the one who runs, gives it 100%, makes that effort to come out of their house every morning at 5 o'clock, train, give it your 100%. Give up a chunk of your life because this is what you really want to do. And that's the most important thing. As far as being a celebrity runner or anything, when you're running your 8 kilometers, honestly, there's nobody interested in taking selfies with you at the 14th kilometer. No one's interested in who you are. You're not interested in anyone out there. You just want to make sure you finish the race. But yes, my biggest struggle was being a woman is, you know, there are times you have to wear really high heels. And that shift between high heels to amazing sneakers to then going from amazing sneakers that you can wear comfortably to going back to high heels, and it's that little torture chamber for your feet, which is just a little unfair. I still remember I had these kinesiology tapes that were like running all the way from my calf to my hamstring, and I had to wear something which would show them off for work, and I was just like, hey, wait a minute, I'm not taking my tapes off because my running is more important. Give me something that covers me up entirely. So, you know, there comes a point in your life that your running kind of just takes over everything else. So you could be back home from a flight. I remember I came back home from a 16-hour flight at 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, you know what, I just want to go for a run. I just didn't want to do anything else. All I wanted to do when I'm on a plane also, I'm just craving, even if it's a small run, I just want to go out there for a run. And the best part, like I started by saying, that you're not running or racing against anyone. You're just doing it for yourself. And that feeling is just, everybody has different kinds of feelings when they're running. And the one that I have is just, you know, I have this space where I'm just, you know, it's just a certain sense of emptiness, which just fills a void. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just the most beautiful feeling.
And you know, there's this revolution amongst women now who have taken up to run. You want to give a message to them?
Absolutely. You know, this is something that I wanted to talk about even initially. I'm glad you actually brought it up because even looking at the men's to women ratio sitting here, I'm assuming a lot of them have come and gone. It's just a little low, but I have seen over the years that, you know, in the mornings as well, when I see, you know, we have a certain set courses, either you're running at Juhu Beach or you're running at Joggers or Mahalakshmi, so you pretty much know what all the other runners look like. This is something I want to just, you know, use this platform to tell everyone that, you know, it's not something that's just a man's sport. I feel that more and more women should come out there, run, more and more women should come out there and encourage not only themselves but each other and their friends, because it is a sport that does need more women to spread the word. And I feel like it's just one of the best ways of staying fit, and I just don't understand why as many women don't come out. But over the past 2 years, I've seen the number increase. I'm sure the number has been increasing over the years, and I've seen some of the best runners being women. So all you men, you better gear up and learn how to run better, because I've seen some women who are fantastic runners out there. So good on you girls. I can just see 3 or 4, but
I want to keep quiet right now.
If I've actually inspired too many people, I've just been
Of course
so
you have.
honest
I mean,
that I mean my entire story and my entire journey has just been one to say that, you know, if I can, you can. It's as simple as that. You know, if you were to take a scale of 0 to 10, I would imagine everybody being over here 5 and above. And for me, when I started off was from 0, and the fact that I finished the race and I've done more, I'm continuing to run even more, and what it does to me, I feel fantastic. So I'm just hoping at some level I inspire people. And you know, I know that I've inspired a lot of my contemporaries, a lot of actors out there who've seen me and they've been like, oh my God, you run the marathon? Really? Could you make time? Were you okay? Could you wake up? Could you like do this? And I was just like, yeah. And I know like so many of them who've taken up running, and it's just fantastic that, you know, you're changing lives at a level that you don't even realize. So it's great. I think it's absolutely great. And yeah, sorry.
No. Anybody?
Very tired. So how do you motivate yourself? How do you push that one more mile?
You know, when I was running the Mumbai Marathon, it's interesting you asked me that question. A lot of you would know what hitting the wall means. Like, you know, you just feel you cannot move. You feel like there's literally a wall in front of you, and you can't do it. I read this very interesting book by Amit Seth called Dare to Run. I don't know how many of you have actually read it. And it talks about mind in the boat. So I hit my wall when we were at the Mumbai Marathon and like on my 8th kilometer. And I was actually surprised. I was like, you know, it'll probably happen around my 14th or 15th kilometer, and then I thought I'm never going to make it. But it's just, it goes back to all the material you've read. It goes back to telling yourself that, hey, you could do it on another day, so why can't you do it now? And then, yeah, I mean, it's just grab a little bit of water, grab like, you know, whatever else you get on the side of the road, get yourself back, put yourself back in that little box that you've been training yourself in, and then you just tell yourself you just got to do it and leave yourself with no other option except you've trained this far to reach the finish line, and no matter what, you're going to do it. But I'm just hoping that everybody else also feels the same way. It's mind over matter after a certain point. That's what I think. And then I still remember from my 8th to my 14th kilometer, I was just in this state of trance, and I just didn't I didn't let myself give up. And then I thought, okay, 2/3 of my race is over, so now I'll be able to take it forward. 5 minutes late. 15
Yes,
minutes
sir.
late.
Your personal
Mine?
best?
Yeah, mine was 2:20.
Good. 2:20. Wow. Okay. Any other question?
I'd be better, but I had a little bit of an injury. I would have dropped about 3 to 4 minutes more. I was hoping for 2:15, but there was a lady who stopped on the Pedder Road flyover. There are things that, you know, no amount of training can teach you. And then she just stopped, and my foot went under her foot because she was running, and my foot went right here. And I already had an injury on my toe, and I felt my toenail like come out fully. And I was like, and then I looked at my partner who was running, and he was like, just finish the race and then cry. And I'm like, okay, fine. So yeah, I wish I was 5 minutes better, but then that's why you run year after year, so you have better time.
She didn't ask for a selfie, did she?
She better not.
Okay, any other question? Anybody?
097 that I ran, so it was just, that was my best time. I'm not going to talk about what was my timing, my bad timing. I don't want to tell anybody what my bad time was. Those are things you don't announce over here. But you know, I just want all of you to know that, you know, you just have to do it for yourself. Isn't it amazing that, I mean, I don't know how many of you actually go to Marine Drive or you go to race course in the morning to run, and you see that expression on everyone's face, and you're all doing it for the same reason. You're all doing it for the love of running, and you're all doing it because the momentum that your legs give your body, it just gives you this high, and that's the most important thing. And I'm just saying that let that momentum and let that feeling carry you forward. And how many of you are running the race this year? Wow. Okay, so if somebody gives you a chance to go to the top of the line, don't do it. I had my head smashed by an enthusiastic runner, so don't do that. Make sure you get there on time. You guys know what the drill is. If you love running, try and wear one of these t-shirts because I think they're awesome. And I'm going to be wearing this all through. you'll realize the spirit of the city is just fantastic. Most of you already run the marathon, so I don't need to tell you this. It's just something special about the city that just takes you forward. So good luck, guys. Good luck with the running. Good luck with everything, and keep at it. Don't give up, and I'll see you at the finish line.
All right, guys, give a big round of applause to Neha Dhupia. Siddharth, let's just say a few words. Guys, post this. There's going to be evening of some music now. We're going to have Ankur Tiwari, who's going to perform, and he's not. Okay, evening. I take my words back.
On behalf of everyone who's put in a lot of effort to make this event happen. It's very edgy, very culturally centric. We don't do this. You've been with us today. It's been wonderful. And what's so interesting, Neha, today is that all of us don't get to see the side of you, right? I mean, don't get to hear such stories. That's the reason that we called you as, I mean, you're here as a runner more than a model or an actress. And it's wonderful to have you here. And we're absolutely blessed and privileged to have this interaction with you. And you've been absolutely fantastic. So if I could ask everyone to have, like, you are one big round of applause, would be fantastic.
Thank you, guys. I have to say that at some level, not at some, at every level, looking at all of you, you guys have inspired me a lot in many ways than one. Just seeing you have these bibs on, and it's just amazing. And I've seen a lot of you. I can't really pinpoint a lot of people, but I've seen a lot of you run at different places. Your form is excellent. Your speed is excellent. You've inspired me at many levels that you do not even understand. Like, I've just seen some of you go ahead of me and been like, wow, if she can do it or if he can do it, I want to run as fast as them. So thanks for inspiring me at levels that you don't even understand. And yeah, I'd like to thank Team Nike. Sid, very dear friend. I mean, I still remember I met him at the finish line for the first time. I just looked at him and he was just like, well done. Keep at it. And then since then we've just been at it. I've been extremely blessed to try out some of the most fantastic gear by Nike. Something that I have on right now. I almost beat Mo Farah's time thanks to these shoes. The Zoom Elite. No, that's a lie. I think I took 1 hour and 5 seconds to beat his time. But yeah, thank you. And you know, you and your team, absolutely fantastic. The runners, absolutely fantastic. And go spread the word a little more. I mean, our city, we've got 12,000 serious runners out of 40,000, so we can do with a lot more. Don't you think so? Yeah, okay, excellent. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Neha.
Thank you. Thank you.
मैम सामने आते मैम मैम या मैम आपके राइट में मैम सामने मैम ये सामने
मैम या
मैम स्ट्रेट राइट साइड
मैम या
मैम एकदम सामने
मैम या मैम here लेफ्ट साइड
Hello. Again. How are you? Good. How are you? Hello. Quick common bite.
Okay.
वैसे पे तेरे सारी बातें तो हो गई.
बहुत ज़्यादा. Spoke a lot.
रोल. ओके तो नेहा ढेर सारी आपने फिटनेस की बातें बताई. तो हम ऐसा मान कि अगर नेहा धूपिया फिट है, कॉजेस हैं, तो उसका ये पार्ट है ये.
आई थिंक जब आप मैराथन रनिंग या रनिंग की बात करें, बहुत अहम बात ये होती है कि आपको अपने आप रनिंग का शौक होना चाहिए. ये एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो आप किसी को बता नहीं सकते कि ठीक है आपको रनिंग इसीलिए करनी है क्योंकि हम आपको बोल रहे हैं कि फिट रहने के लिए करनी है. ऑफ कोर्स बीइंग फिट इज़ अ बाय प्रोडक्ट ऑफ रनिंग, बट रनिंग इज़ समथिंग दैट यू रियली वांट टू डू एंड यू ओनली डू इट बिकॉज यू रियली वांट टू डू इट. बट वंस यू स्टार्ट, इट्स अ ड्रग. यू कैन नॉट स्टॉप. it's that amazing.
तो कैसा रहा एक्सपीरियंस नाइक एसोसिएट के साथ?
बहुत ही अच्छा, एक बहुत ही बेहतरीन ब्रांड है नाइकी, और आज उन्होंने अपनी नई मुंबई मैराथन की टी शर्ट वी रन मुंबई को लॉन्च किया है। साथ ही में बहुत ही बेहतरीन जूते लॉन्च किए हैं जो जूम एलीट जूते हैं। ऑलमोस्ट मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि मैं कुछ कर नहीं रही हूँ, अपने आप ही भाग रही हूँ, बिकॉज द शूज़ आर डूइंग सच अ ब्रिलियंट जॉब। बट मेरे हिसाब से एक बहुत ज़रूरी होता है जस्ट एट अ लेवल ऑफ नॉट ओनली अबाउट द प्रोडक्ट, इज़ व्हाट द प्रोडक्ट स्टैंड्स फॉर टू एनकरेज रनिंग। और रनिंग एक ऐसा स्पोर्ट है विच डेफिनेटली स्प्रेड्स द वर्ड ऑफ फिटनेस। आपको किसी और चीज़ की ज़रूरत नहीं है सिवाय बीइंग सेल्फ मोटिवेटेड। सो टुडे वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट फिटनेस, टॉकिंग अबाउट द मुंबई मैराथन, टॉकिंग अबाउट एवरीथिंग दैट लीड्स यू देयर। सो इट्स ग्रेट टू बी एसोसिएटेड विद अ ग्रेट मैसेज लाइक
और
दिस।
हमने देखा आज यहाँ भी प्रैक्टिस कर लिया आपने, मतलब
जी।
आज का दिन भी मतलब नहीं ड्रॉप नहीं किया?
नहीं, मतलब अभी ड्रॉप तो पता नहीं किया कि नहीं। बहुत ऐसे रनर्स थे जो बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा कर रहे थे। आई एक्चुअली केम हियर टुडे purely because I wanted to have a chat with a lot of the runners here, their experiences, अपने experiences share करने के लिए, और बहुत अच्छी activities उन्होंने यहाँ पे plan की हैं. So I was very excited to try out a lot of them.
And also Christmas and New Year is
Yes.
upon us. So what's Neha Dhupia?
The first thing that I'm going to do on the 1st of January as soon as I wake up is go for a run. So and for the viewers, you must also do something to keep yourself fit. And a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you so much.